Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Renault 2.0.
And Renault 2.0 is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Pekin Freeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
Howdy, 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 everybody, and welcome to the Apex Racing Academy Formula Renault 2.0 Championship here at beautiful Lime Rock Park. I'm Austin Knight, joined by Sam Fitzpatrick, and we got Marco Bombineri in the production booth, and you're here live watching Apex Racing TV. Sam, after a beautiful first few rounds here, and especially after we had our first 3 race format, we returned to the 2 race format, and we're now at the the small road oval. Can we call this an oval? Of Lime Rock Park.
Yeah, I mean it's near enough, isn't it? It's all right-handers. We've got 1 left-hander. I believe it's 7 right-handers of it. Of course, with the layout that we're using tonight, there is a couple of left-handers. But yeah, it's a very unusual circuit. Credit to the Formula Renault 2.0 community for voting for this circuit, for deciding to come here. But it's an interesting choice with this configuration. I honestly cannot recall ever broadcasting a kind of serious race with both chicanes. Really, the second chicane isn't liked by the vast majority of people, but we are using it tonight, and I think that is something that the drivers have really struggled to get used to. You can see it's a flimsy characteristics here. It's a bizarre sequence of corners.
It truly is a chicane to get used to. That fast right-hander that's always on the edge, no matter what car. It's now made a kind of an overtaking point. So if you got a good kind of a car coming out of the uphill chicane, you could get a run into the west-hand chicane, and not a run like that into the wall. Goes Jack Reeve after putting in the fastest time, the top time on the board.
Yeah, and we're going to see a few of those instances where at turn 1, aren't we? Because there's so much grass surrounding this circuit, and the grass is super slippery on iRacing, and there's a bit of runoff area, but it can very quickly get away from you. You're carrying some big speeds heading into various corners, so particularly that turn 1 dipping your wheel onto the grass is very much waving goodbye to your race. It's going to take you a long time to get back out on track, as we are on board with Sven Newman at the moment, and he is trying to improve, and he moves to third position at the moment.
Yeah, Carl Winkler sitting at the top of a beautiful 53 flat time, well flat to the 4,000ths of a second, say flat right there. And the top three, the pros, well, Winkler, Sandstrom, Newman, 1, 2, and 3 right now. Glamsetter currently leading on provisional pole for the AMs, and here's that chicane uphill advantage that we got. So we're looking at Jack Reed as that chicane, just a bit of a lockup heading into there, and you're going to see on how awkward it is.
Yeah, and it really changes the dynamic of the second half of the circuit, because in these cars, super high downforce, or very light certainly, and not necessarily a whole lot of power, they'd be easy flat out through that penultimate corner of the normal layout. You get the toe all the way from the triple chicane all the way to turn 1. That chicane though, or the kind of bus stop chicane, as we are going to be calling it tonight, will very much kind of disturb that, and it's an extra corner, maybe to overtake, as you were saying before, Austin, but it's certainly not an area where you're going to be able to slipstream past, and so it is going to be quite an interesting circumstance. Still a good toe run though from the final corner to turn 1, so I'm hoping there's still going to be a fair amount of overtaking.
It will be providing that overtaking opportunity, but to go side by side through there is going to be extremely hard, because if you go up onto the inside, you're going to be set up for that outside line off the exit, and it's pretty narrow if you actually ride on board through there. That it's kind of a one-line thing, and like you said, here's Hans Vera heading into that west chicane, so you're going to go for that second apex. Then right there, side by side through there is just not going to be an opportunity if you're stuck on the inside, and you're just going to be stuck behind another car and looking to get into the draft heading into turn 1.
Yeah, you're going to have to bail out of it in that circumstance. And, well, it'll be a challenge for the drivers, no doubt about that. I'm not sure if we've shown the championship points yet. Up on
we did.
But apologies, that was me lacking. But we'll see them back here again. 6 at the top, ahead of Winkler. Those two being very impressive, particularly Pascal Stick, super consistent so far this season. Got a bunch of third place finishes, I think, last time out, but Winkler also very strong. Hussein showed really good pace in qualifying, at least last time out. Nürburgring wasn't able to show it really in the races, in third, and Seb Moran in fourth. Philip Russell, Christian Glamsetter, and Mohamed Boaleg top of the amateur championship, but only 2 rounds of the championship gone. Still got another 6 to go, including tonight, so plenty of points up for grabs. And I think, Austin, it's going to be a very tight championship, because we'll speak to some of the drivers after the last round, and just saying how great it is to have 5 or 6 drivers in range of the overall race win every single race, it seems.
It really is. It's these cars are very competitive with each other. All these drivers here, they love this car. The car gives a little bit of a draft help to a few of them, as this is Pascal Sticks heading down the old mountain, the original planned mountain straight. of the originally planned Landmark Park that was supposed to be 2.78 miles long instead of the 1 mile long course that we have now, because money is an issue. So we still got, even though it is the shortened layout, it's still a very classic racetrack.
Absolutely, yeah. It's difficult to imagine this place much longer. The track is totally surrounded by trees on the most part, so it's difficult to imagine them kind of driving into the trees, you know. But yeah, it would have been quite cool. No, I think the layout that we got is very good. Anyway, so Newman and Winkler, barely anything between. That's currently a course in racing 1, 2, 3. Ahead of Sandstrom. Russell doing really well top of the amateurs. Quite a split in pace, honestly, considering that's an only 53-second lap. So surprised we haven't got a bit closer, honestly, in that top 10. I thought maybe the top 10 might only be separated by maybe 6 or 7 tenths of a second, currently up there at 1.4 seconds. So maybe there's some room for improvement for a few.
It shows the pace separation and knowledge of that second chicane. I can name the series on my fingers how many times I've seen the chicanes version outside of a rookie series used on iRacing. Twice. Production Car Challenge was one of them, and then the other one, I believe, was actually Formula Renault 2.0.
Well, they must love their circuit, and yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, that's good knowledge.
It is a good challenge. It is a good challenge.
Yeah. I'm not sure if... I don't think it was community voted this configuration, at least. Of course, this series isn't the official series, but the Apex Racing Academy Formula Renault 2.0 Championship does try to follow the official series whenever possible. Except if they're visiting Chicago, avoid that circuit at any cost. But pretty much everywhere else follow the official series championship. So that is why we are here for tonight. So we're into the final 2 minutes, because the drivers, as always, have to complete that lap time before the 10 minutes is up. And of course, you've got plenty of time around this circuit. Even for Winkler here, he's going to have time actually for 2 more laps should he have the fuel and the tyres to do so. In fact, this is currently a fast lap for Winkler. Can he go to pole? He sure can. Was 100th of a second short. He moves into the 52s now, and that is an excellent time there from the German.
A beautiful time for Carl Winkler. Gets himself up there, just barely and up by 600ths of a second to go into provisional pole. And I was just checking the schedule. It is following the official schedule as, oh, that is a lockup and then a little rotation heading, well, we were joking as, we call this the bus stop chicane because it honestly does look like a bus stop, but the official name is the West End chicane. But yeah, it's so easy to get off balance right there. You know, you're turning right, then you snap the car to the left. If you lock up going into that second apex, the car will rotate around you, and well, you're not going to have a good day. And if you do that in front of a pack, oh, there's going to be a lot of contact.
Well, as Newman improves, it wasn't quite enough, so he's 4/100ths of a second off his teammate. I mean, those two are going to be super evenly matched. It'll be very interesting to see if one can pass the other when it comes to the racing, as we've got Sandstrom just going wide there. He wasn't going to be able to get that lap time in anyway. And Smith also improving, so he's up to 10th place. Good to see Aaron Smith back. Scored the second most amount of points of anyone in the amateur category back at Red Bull Ring. Unfortunately, didn't see him last time out at Nürburgring. But he is back here tonight, and yeah, improving to 10th position that last time round. Shipley is not going to have enough time, couple of seconds to go, but that is the checker flag waving, and all the drivers magically disappear. We are about to get the first race of the evening underway. 25 minutes both races, race 2, a 6-car inverted grid from the race 1 results, but this one all set by qualifying.
Yeah, Carl Winkler started up on pole position, followed by Sven Newman, Pascal Stix, Jesper Sandstrom, Luik Barb, Philip Russell, Jack Reeve, Will Ryan, Christian Glamsetter, Aaron Smith, Rickard Bobberg, and Paul Clothier in 12th place, followed by Andy Moore, Hans Verhey, Sean Shipley, Jack Crew, the Dr. Navidi Hussein behind him in 17th, followed by another pro, Christian Rosenkrantz, Tom Minot and Kevin Peters at the end of our 20-car grid here at Lime Rock Park for the Apex Racing Academy Formula Renault 2.0 series.
Yeah, and I'll take this quick opportunity to thank our title sponsor for this series, Apex Racing Academy. Apex Racing Academy doing an awesome thing that they're offering all the drivers who sign up to this series a free 1-month subscription, so they can get the setups developed by the Apex Racing Academy coaches. I think it's Peter Bayman who does them for these cars, who is a very, very quick single-seater driver. And yeah, Peter, designing the setups and also offering kind of tuition as well, one-on-one tuition, and can really improve on your driving if you sign up to apexracingac.com. So big thanks to them for sponsoring this series and also offering some super prizes as well, about 900 quid of prizes Apex Racing Academy are offering. By the way, Hussein, way down the order, having a pit lane start to serve. So I think those are the bottom 4 outs here, and that is why they are sitting so far down.
Yeah, that pit lane is a little bit skewed, so when the start happens, they won't be that far behind everybody, but they're going to be, well, you can see them, the lineup right beside them. They're going to have a little bit of a wait, but for our racers, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and away they go. Green, green, green. Here for the Apex Racing Academy Formula Renault 2.0, and it's Newman getting a better launch off the line, holding around to the outside right here at Lime Rock Park. But Winkler with that inside line keeps it in the lead. It's core, 1, 2, 3. And I wouldn't be expecting any of them to be taking any risk on each other. Just try to stay nose to tail. But behind him, it's all free game right now. Philip Russell with a great start up into 6. And then Christian Glamstead and Aaron Smith also jumping up 2 spots. Will Ryan had a horrible start. He's fallen down to 9th place.
Yeah, poor start for him, and he tried to negotiate the bus stop for the first time. It's all very awkward, but really well managed from all the drivers, apart from Clothier, who's now in the middle of the circuit. Super now, we've lost a rear wing as well. That's Jack Crew. He's going to have to come back to the pits. I imagine he's got a meatball straight away for that car. So will he just duck on in here? I think he's going to have to do eventually anyway. But Smith also just getting ahead of Glamstead. So brilliant start for Aaron Smith. He's up 3 places already, making that move on the Norwegian, I think heading down into turn 1 on this lap. So it's Russell, Smith and Glamstead, so top 3 in the amateurs, and it's still the top 3 core drivers at the top of the overall standings as well, with Winkler just edging out a slight gap on his rivals.
I'm surprised Jack Crew was able to make it around turn 1. Now the wings are pretty small here, but they do have an effect, as Davide Hussein, the doctor, surgically putting himself down to the inside and up into 14th. He's going to have a very uphill battle as they go through the uphill chicane. And oh no, that's Rosenkrantz in the wall.
Starting from the pit, so he has. Oh no, you can't even drive that thing. The rear left is off the ground. Oh, the Smith's up to 7th. He's storming through. Absolutely. Surgical stuff right now from Aaron Smith, and wow, up into 6th position. I was thinking that his qualifying was a bit underwhelming, but boy, is this race one very good. Well, I mean, he had 25 minutes to get to the lead. It's only taking him 2 minutes to get to 6th overall.
Aaron Smith is really fast around here. I was talking with him, very nice guy. Lime Rock Park is one of his favorite tracks around here. I know when I was racing with him in the Formula V series a few weeks ago, a month ago, when the Apex Racing League came here, the Formula Vs, he was just storming up through the field. He went from last with a pit lane start to win the entire race from there. So he knows his way around this racetrack. Now, the Vs weren't using the chicanes, but it's just an extra turn in his mind. He knows that he just loves this place.
Yeah, he sure does. As Sandstrom was just battling ahead, managing to keep Lloyd Barb behind, but Barb was very close heading into turn 1. We've also had a problem for Boberg, who's had to tow back to the pits. I think maybe a problem happening at the triple chicane on that last lap, as Will Ryan is trying to get back that position that he lost off the start. He started in 8th down to 9th, and he's mean now to put Glamstead off the line at least, but it's straight heading into the bus stop, just not long enough, and it's not a big enough braking area either, kind of into the first apex, but he's gone too wide, and this is going to be fairly simple, you'd think, for Ryan. If anything, it's a bit too close because he's going to have to get out to the dots or slightly now ducked underneath, but he didn't get a whole lot of overspeed. Bamsessa lifting off, letting him go, and the Australian back to 8th.
Yeah, Will Ryan, Glamster had a little bit of a hiccup mid-corner, but you got to, with that little turn-in, you know, heading into the Sam Posey straight, you know, Sam, it's a Sam straight. Jack Crew is still out there. Oh, without a wing! Oh, he's cranking that wheel left, he's cranking that wheel right. He keeps out the wall, he keeps his car alive, but that Formula V Renault looks absolutely squirrely right there.
I don't know how he's still going. It might just be on our end that he's lost the rear wing. It might actually be on his end that it's not too bad, but yeah.
I have to say it's gone. Car locked up right ahead of him, so Kuru is getting one more spot still, as that was more going off in the uphill chicane. So the downforce that the wing provides, it's not. The speed is kind of at that little knife edge area because he is a lot slower than everyone else down the straights and in the corner. So everyone is getting right there. So I think he doesn't have a rear wing right there, as it's just he's just comfortable with the track. Because a pit stop here is basically you're going a lap down.
Yeah, fair enough. So yeah, he wants to avoid that at any cost. I wonder if we could get a replay actually of what happened to Boberg. I'm curious as to what occurred to him, because I think that was a simultaneous issue for another driver as well. I wonder if they were related to one another. Here it was for Rickard Boberg. Crips Racing doing very well in the Amateur Championship at the moment, so it was an unrelated issue happening on behind. Boberg, as he hit the curb, he's just slid into the wall and doing too much damage. He's tried to get back underway, but you can see straight away that the front of the car is heavily broken.
Yeah, that front of the car has seen better days, but he got into the pits, got that repaired, and is back out on track, just a lap down. Very easy to go a lap down here, as laps take 53 seconds for our top guys.
Yeah, and very consistent 53 seconds at the moment. Not much split these three, but they are keeping an even distance away from one another at the moment. Might not, we were just seeing passing Clothier up into 12th place, and Morse had more problems. Velocity Motorsports having a tricky time, drops behind Reed down to 8th place.
I just realized what you did there.
I didn't do anything deliberately. What did I do accidentally? As Ryan's just got past Russell, by the way.
He's having more problems.
Oh yeah, that was very funny, wasn't it? That wasn't deliberate, honestly. I'm just that funny, isn't it?
I don't trust you.
Honestly, when I make a joke, I make everyone very aware of that joke. Bahij is off the track, dearie me. Needs to I was going to make another joke there, but it wouldn't have been very funny. I'll wait my time. I'll get my thinking out.
Well, to be fair, I think I made a more joke as well, and I wasn't aware of it as too. So I think we're both in the unaware jokes made, as this is Pascal sticks behind his teammate, and this just seems like a core 1-2-3 practice right now, as they pulled away from everybody else and are, well, just sitting in first, second, and third. Neither of them really getting close to each other, which is probably going to be the running order things for this 20 minutes, at least for this race. And then when we head into the final 5 minutes, we might see Pascal or Newman try to take it to Winkler.
Yeah, I mean, it's so easy just to, hit a curb around this place or to pull onto the grass. You can't force someone, or at least pressure someone into a mistake. And this is a good actually for a mistake. So Newman is barely in the draft at the moment, as we got Bahij round again.
Same spot too. Same spot.
He, not having a good time. But as Sandstrom is trying to come back against Barb, so Barb managed to get back past on the last lap. Sandstrom having to go the long way round. I don't think this is going to work out for him.
Switchback
really needs to have the inside through the time one. Maybe in narrow cars you could have a chance, but Barb not really nailing it, and it's the one left-hander who got on this track. Sandstrom is up the inside. Barb will have the inside for the next corner. They're leaving each other good racing room, and it's going to continue all the way down to the chicane.
It's still going to be there into the braking zone. Sandstrom's got the lead. Big lockup right there, and here comes Aaron Smith. He's going to take it to these pros as they're swabbing and battling right now side by side, heading into the West End chicane. Big early on the brakes for Barb, trying to go for the switchback. Sandstrom able to hold it off right there and continue to stay in the lead. But that little early braking move has got Barb off sync with Sandstrom.
Yeah, and I think we've got Hussein moving past Glamset. So Hussein, remember, starting from the pits, wanting to get into the top 6. Hussein, of course, in order to get the reverse grid pole. I don't think that's going to happen though, unless that Sandstrom to Smith battle has a collision. He is not going to make up that gap. He'll get up to 7th, I think, quite easy. But I think Aaron Smith is going to be a bit too far ahead, 6 seconds to catch up. 15 minutes. It's going to be very tricky as we're running on board with Jack Reeve crew with pretty good straight line speed. I mean, it's not really much different, honestly, to normal, and he
Just
does
a little bit more slippy.
Bahij is really slow right now, isn't he? And he's going to drop behind Reeve, I think, before long.
Yeah, Bahij is he's been struggling this part of the track. I'm not sure if it's something with the setup or it's just that he's not comfortable with it. It's very easy to lose back end, but you see, he is so off speed compared to Jack Reeve. Reeve around the outside, lane on the brakes. They're going to go side by side through the uphill chicane, almost making contact. Jack Reeve throwing the elbows and making his presence nose around the outside right there. Beauty of a move as we get our highlight positions for our reversed grid. These are the drivers that will be reversed at the end of this race for race number 2.
And I did kind of think going into this round, surely the slipstream's going to be quite strong. And I think these guys are kind of showing at least what I thought this race was going to be like, because Sandstrom, in fact, has got back past Barb. Not sure if we saw that one originally. Maybe we did, apologies. His crew has gone, way far there. How's he ended up there?
I can tell you one thing. It's called brake lockup, and well, he does have a rear wing, and yeah.
I mean, you don't really brake much for that corner. I'm surprised that he's not made the corner at all.
Well,
I
know in the V's. I know in the V's, and I'm going to be referencing the V's a lot here because I spent way too much time practicing for this track for the Formula V Championship in Apex recently. You don't brake at all. You just lift, and that's it. With these cars at the amount of downforce, almost about the same straight line speed, I would expect that, he was like, can I just lift for this corner? Because a lot of guys taking this faster than me. I think that might have been what he was trying to do, and then he got on the brakes, and it's also, he doesn't have the rear wing up there, so he's putting more pressure on the brakes as well. And, that was a weird thing to see, but he locked up, missed the corner. And luckily, nobody else got into him, and luckily he didn't hit anyone else. It's a very odd race for Reeve.
Stix has moved to second position, but he's now really being held up by a back marker. That was Sean Shipley right there. That was the Suez Canal all over again, blocking the entire circuit. A relevant joke from 9 months ago there. And it's nearly now allowed Newman to move back past, but I think that they're kind of coordinating this, because we saw Stix earlier on actually lift out when he had the opportunity to pull alongside Newman, but he decided to stay behind. Now is past, but 2.3 seconds to catch up to the leader. He is not making that up, as Smith has had a mistake. Now that could be very significant, because this could be reverse grid pole for Ryan or Hussein. Smith had such a big gap. He's going back on, and he's made contact, and Hussein can't quite move past, but that's a shame for Will Ryan there. He had that 6th position coming his way, and well, I'm sure the stewards will have a look at that.
Yeah, that's going to be, if Will Ryan protests that, I can guarantee that that's going to be all on Aaron Smith for that re-entry. Oh, that is so unfortunate right there for Ryan. He was having not the best race, but you know, it's a good comeback sword for him right there. But to get collected by Smith, who's just coming off the track right there, oh, that is something you don't want to see. As this is Hussein just on the back of Aaron Smith. Look down the inside, just selling a little fakey right there. As Aaron, I think he's just going to be trying to keep this a little bit more under control and not do anything wild, because he's still got 10 minutes remaining.
Ryan Harris take his faster pair. All the drivers do get a faster pair in each of the 25-minute races in this series, so Ryan taking advantage of that. I don't really see any hope for Smith to keep Hussein behind him for the whole 25 minutes. We saw Hussein take pole by 0.4 of a second back at Nürburgring. He's one of the fastest drivers out here. He's had no problem moving up the order so far. And so it's just a matter of time, I think, and this is a good distance back, 0.3 of a second behind. And while Smith didn't have to go defensive the last time round, I think he's going to have to go defensive this time.
Yeah, Aaron defending onto the inside. Here comes the Doctor with the switchback. He faked out Smith. He goes onto the inside, got his front wheel onto that curve that pops up just a little bit. Not going to help him right there, but the Doctor getting underneath Aaron Smith's skin, and very, very, very close right there.
Yeah, it's like one at the moment as there's a bit of a lockup, but he's staying off the curb, and yeah, it's really puts him off now, so it's going to take him a good lap or so to catch back up. Let's see how the speed carry through this chicane. If he can make up a bit of time, takes a bit more grasp, got a significant improvement. I think that was Rosenkrantz with a mistake there. He's having a dreadful time of it. Chris usually one of the guys started from the pits, of course, did Chris, so that's why he started so far down, but he has had two spins since, and he's in a very precarious position. If this was
the track is extremely packed right now. If we bring up our mini-map, our dancing dots of doom, you can definitely see that there's no real clear track that he has. He has a little bit of window, and there he goes right there. Needs to get his foot back onto the throttle. Boom. And everybody is now got a clear track right there, but that is not what you want to see. Yes, that track was packed to the brim right there. And here's our leader, Carl Winkler, able to get a 2-second gap to Sticks and Newman.
Yeah, and since Sticks got past Newman, he's been more than a match for Winkler, and he's been able to drop Newman, so I don't really know why he didn't try to pass him earlier on. They are teammates, obviously, so he's not going to go for anything rash, but he could have, you know, made quite an easy move, it seemed like, but he was willing to wait behind Newman until he didn't, and then make the move, but it was too late by the time that he did. I mean, the only thing that can deny Carl Winkler another race win would be a collision here when he's moving past the back markers, and there are a few, of course, to deal with, already lapped. About 6 cars out here, but he's still got Reeve and Peters most likely to deal with, and also you might come across Boberg and Rosenkrantz as well to double lap those drivers. But you can see since that overtake on lap 14, the gap between the top two staying very similar, come down quite a bit on this lap. Winkler though using that slipstream effectively, and yeah, switch goes through lap 20 now already.
Yeah, so many laps going to be done through here. Not even a minute, so we're going to be seeing about 26, 27 laps. This is Hussein around the outside. Oh, not going to be able to be worked through. As Aaron Smith still stays ahead of the Doctor, leaves the window open right there to see if he wants to try to send it up the inside. But Aaron Smith is playing this very risky, goes off the track, and now they're going to be side by side heading into the uphill chicane. Last on the brakes is going to be Hussein, but he locks up right there. Smith, he's got a good run. Can Smith make a run into the west end chicane? Don't believe he wants to try. Hussein is off the line right here. Aaron trying to go for the little switchback, break up that little momentum he's got. It's not going to be there.
Yeah, well, Hussein then, finally up that position. But here comes Smith back again, and Hussein's needing to go defensive for a good lap after he made the initial move. Smith very bold on the outside. He turned in quite early there, almost made contact, but they do get through. But Smith is putting absolutely everything on the line. He will know that reverse grid pole is up for grabs here, and Hussein just needs to survive. You can look at the lock that Smith puts into these corners, about 90 degrees of steering angle. This car does notoriously understeer a lot, and again, really some big cuts up the wheel. Hussein not particularly comfortable through the triple chicane. I think he's better through the bus stop chicane, however, but it might just be able to pull a car length here on Smith. You want the gap to be about 0.4 of a second going out of here to be safe, and it is about 0.4 of a second, so I don't think Smith will be able to get past this time, but Hussein hasn't been able to shake him off yet.
Yeah, Hussein and Smith are going to be in a big fight, and look who's behind him, Russell and Glamsetter. So Aaron Smith, if he continues battling with Hussein, this might turn into a four-way fight very soon. And speaking of another fight, we got Jack Reeve behind Kevin Peters. Peters will lock up heading into the uphill chicane. Here comes Jack Reeve. Is he going to try to send up the inside? Yes, he is. Big Sender Rooney. Send that to your mama. What a move right there. Jack Reeve late on the brakes, up into 12th.
Right, he's going to be vulnerable though heading into turn 1. I think the gap was only 1/4 of a second going into the final corner. Hasn't been able to hold on to it. He's pulling some shapes down the straight, but here comes the attack. Peter's not quite close enough, but you're absolutely right. That was a brilliant move, very committed, and well, it could have been disastrous. He just managed to slide his way through. Newman now having to get past these guys. They aren't obliged to let him pass, but they shouldn't be fighting him either. And well, that is good work there from Peters to lift off there. And of course, we will be the next one to pass, as the gap is very small. Look how that has cut down. So I wonder if that's just the traffic. It must just be the traffic, because Winkler was absolutely fine, and Styx has got a good chance of winning this race. He's a bit too far back, I think, this time, but next up he will have a real opportunity.
Well, we're in the final 4 minutes of this race, and you know what that means. All the bets are off the teammates. You know that checker flag's coming. You want to be beating your teammate. Oh, and into the wall. Paul Clothier. Hard impact to the wall. That car is gone and extremely damaged. And that is, well, something you don't want to see every day.
Yeah, it's going to be quite a clean-up for them. Oh, we got a... Oh my God, what's going on, Chris? Come on. You can only go better. At least he's let past the leaders, but man, Chris does not like this circuit at all, does he? Big shame for him. Styx just dropping off a little bit now, so he's still slightly within the draft range. It kicks in at about this region. But you can see he's actually losing time down the straight, such was his poor exit. Glab set to past Russell. So that's a good move there from
Russell. Bad move to the chicane. He locked up heading into there, or they were side by side. Glamsetter. Oh, let's see what happened right here. Let's see what happened, because Glamsetter was pretty far behind Russell right here. And let's watch Russ. Big lock up and a curb strike too. Glamsetter just kicks the car over to the left. Says, "Thank you, buddy." Now watch this.
And that's a classic Lime Park move. I think just having to wait for a long time for a mistake like that, but once it does come, gotta take the opportunity. And well, I wouldn't be surprised if Russell tries to come back later on. Might have time to do it, as Boberg and Shipley have both gone off the circuit. Dearie me, that's been a big impact, hasn't it? That Shipley off the track. As we've got a spin around, it's Reeve into the wall. Now, has he already used his fast repair?
I think he has. And this with, we got another, that's Shipley. That's what Jack was originally trying to avoid. So we got a lot of carnage up here at the top of the hill at the bridge, which is, well, the least safe part of the track if we're really talking about it, because there's no runoff there. And, well, he's missed that corner. Bam! Into the back.
How's Boberg?
Ricard Boberg. No one was expecting him to be stopped right there. This is Jack Reeve. Sees the car off right there. Too much mustard and bam into the wall. Looks like that car should be fine.
I don't know. It looked like quite a big hit on the wheel to me.
Well, it did show some damage, and then the iRacing gods gave that damage back. So, you know, we'll see exactly if he did have to go into the pits. But 2 laps to go here at Lime Rock Park. Fight for the lead, Winkler and Styx 1-2 by half a second for the Apex Racing Academy Formula Renault 2.0 Championship.
And Smith's still staying close to Hussein, by the way, but not close enough for an overtake at the moment, about 7/10 back, which is where the toe starts to kind of lose any effect. So I don't think there's any worry on that one. Quick shout out as well to SDK Gaming. Big thanks to them. They provide our overlay that you see up on screen. And if you check out the Formula 3.5 Championship later on in Apex Racing 2, you can see the absolutely amazing 3.5 overlay that they've got. It's really cool styling as Ryan is trying to get past Peters. Remember, Ryan was up in 7th position earlier on, and well, it looks like he might be able to get past Peters as we are moving on to the last lap.
White flag in the air. Ryan looking up onto the inside of Peters, trying for a big send right there, but Peters holding around to the outside. Wheel to wheel, they make contact. Oh, how they kept that on the track, I don't know. Just a little soft rubbing right there. Let's follow our fight for the lead. Styx and Winkler, nose to tail right now, heading through the uphill chicane. Heading into the west end chicane. Are we going to be seeing some games here from Winkler or Styx? Styx got a big run through the final chicane. Heading into one corner to go. He is too far back, and it's Carl Winkler, start to finish, strutting his stuff here at Lime Rock Park as he takes the victory.
Excellent drive, it cut down with the traffic, but it was enough. Still, Hussein is going to go from the back, from the pit lane to 6th position and reverse grid pole, and for me, he is definitely race 2 favourite from my perspective. Smith, though, is going to win in the outer category. Should have been reverse grid pole, really, because he made that mistake, as Glam Setter does beat Russell as well. It was close across the line between the two of them. Andy Moore still trying to get to the line. I think we've got a lot of broken cars out on circuit because of drivers who have already used their faster pay, have crashed in the late stages, but everyone coming across the line nice and quick, such as the short lap, and this is just how this happened to Andy Moore, going over the curb and spinning round. But yeah, excellent work there from Winkler, and well, it's very tricky to separate Carl and Pascal so far this season, Austin. As we are going to take a quick commercial break during the warm-up session for these drivers before race 2. So we'll be back with you in just a moment on Apex Racing TV.
And we're back for the Apex Racing Academy Formula Renault 2.0 Championship here at Live Rock Park. Carl Winkler took race number 1, and ooh, man, race number 1 ended with a little bit of fireworks. Not from the leaders, it was more of a carnage fest at the end of that race. But hey, here are your race 1 results. Carl Winkler, Pascal Sticks, Sven Newman, Sandstrom, Barb, and Hussein are the reversed grid. Hussein will be starting up on pole, followed by Smith, Glamsetter, Russell, Minot, Ryan Peters, Verais, Reef, Moore, Bobberg, Clavier, and Shipley, followed by Rosencrantz and Jack Crew at the end of our 20-car grid. Well, race 1 had a little bit of fire, had a little bit of spice to it. How's race 2 looking?
Hopefully it will be similar. I feel like I say that every week, but I think the big question is going to be how quick can those core sim racing guys, particularly Sticks and Winkler, who seem to be in a league of their own in race 1, how quickly can they kind of make their way back through? I mean, are they going to be able to get past Moran and Sandstrom and go to challenge Hussein? But it seems like overtaking was very possible in race 1, so you know it's they've both still got a very good chance, despite the fact that they're starting down in 5th and 2nd.
It's really going to be a little bit of a stretch for them to really make some moves on lap 1. They're going to have to really stretch it out because 3rd, well, 6th, 5th, and 4th are all core sim racing guys, and they're going to have to work as a team to get ahead of everyone else. But what's really going to happen right here is everybody is going to have a bit of a traffic nightmare. And, well, it's 25 minutes, so I'm going to have to say for the first 5 minutes, just focus on pulling away from everybody else and just try to get your hands on those freebies. That's when everyone's going to be in that most tense state. And then about 5 to 15 minutes, that's when you really want to try catching people off guard.
Yeah, I think that's potentially a strategy that a lot of drivers will be using. I mean, what's going to happen with Smith as well, because he was so good off the start last time out. Get a similar start to last time, then maybe he'll be in amongst those pro drivers, and if you could get past maybe Winkler, for example, that would really cause quite a problem for the Germans. So certainly should be a lot of fun. Of course, if you want to take part in this championship, we've still got loads more rounds to go. We've still got another 6 rounds to go after this one. Go visit apexracingleague.com because there are this series on a Saturday night. We've also got Mazda Cup, we've got GT3s, we've got NASCAR, we've got Radicals, we've got Porsche Cup. We've got lots of stuff on Apex Racing League, so do visit apexracingleague.com and go get yourself signed up for one of their several leagues.
Yeah, a lot of good leagues out there on Apex Racing Academy and Apex Racing League, and highly suggest them. As while we were going into while you were doing that, we were watching Navani Hussein do some practice starts on the front straight.
Smart.
Very smart, because he is starting up on pole, followed by Luke Barb, Sandstrom, Newman, Sticks, Winkler, Smith, Glamsetter, Russell, Minot, Ryan, and Peters in 12th. Followed by Verheij, Reeve, Moore, Bobberg, Clothier, Shipley, Rosencrantz, and Crew at the end of our grid. That's our 20-car grid. The lights are about to come on, and we are getting ready to rock and roll and have some fun right here. We're only waiting on Jack Reeve, who...
Pit lane start.
He does have a pit lane start, so yeah, we're going to go right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. Race number 2, final race of the day here for the Apex Racing Academy Formula Renault 2.0, and it's a great start for Barb Hussein on the inside right there. We're going to be side by side, almost 3 wide for 3rd place right there, as that's Sandstrom and Newman already having a little bit of a look on each other. But for Hussein, it's just eyes ahead and try to pull a gap to Barb and Sandstrom right there, as Newman, Sticks, and Winkler, the teammates, are all going to be fighting with each other and trying to make themselves up the grid. Is that Smith and Glamsetter going side by side? Aaron Smith with a dive into the chicane up into 7th.
Yeah, so Smith initially lost that position, but he's found it back again. Will Ryan up into 9th position, so poor start in race 1, good start for him in race 2. Now Glamsetter's all over the place, and this is going to be easy for Ryan to get past. I think Russell is going to be in a very good position, going to get the draft on these 2 drivers, and Ryan is just edging ahead, but Russell, if he wants to, can make this one through wide. He's boxed himself in, but now he's going to slalom his way through, gets past one. Can he get past the other as well? It's Minot, apology, who is the one moving through, and Minot moves up into 8th place. That was incredible speed he carried down the pit straight.
Beautiful move by Tom right there. Absolutely, he was a little bit boxed in, but when he got clear, he's just pushed himself down low and then up onto the inside. And Christian Glamsetter, he's probably shaking his head. It's like, what just happened? Well, hello, that also happened right there. Ryan missed the braking point, locked up, didn't want to cause any collisions or anything. So he's going to take the outside line of the old classic track. Little bit of a slowdown. There's contact. There were 3 wide in the West Bend chicane. I believe that was Flavier who got into him right there. And, well, that is not what you want to see right here. Newman and Sandstrom going side by side. Newman on the inside. Sandstrom trying to hold it around to the outside, but Newman defends from Sandstrom. Still defending right there. You want to know why? I believe Sandstrom and Mamadi Hussein are kind of affiliated with each other. And, well, no one has the numbers that Core does right now in the session. So Mamadi Hussein and Jasper Sandstrom, I think, have a little bit of alliance with each other, and Sandstrom just make it a little bit hard for Newman.
I believe they do, so that is a very good call that you point out. But this time he's that bit closer. Rosencrantz past Peters. It's a good move. Peters was overtaken at that corner earlier on, actually, wasn't he, by Jack Reeve. And this time it's Rosencrantz. He seems to have figured out this circuit finally. Maybe a bit too late in the evening, unfortunately. Moore and Shipley both having a very bad time of it through there. Sandstrom still defending, gap up to 2.2 seconds. So Hussein and Bob aren't sprinting away at the moment, but this is certainly helping them out. Newman still plenty of time, but every lap that Sandstrom keeps him behind, it's going to strengthen the Swedish driver's confidence. You'll know where he needs to defend, so it's a good run. But that is an exceptional line there for Sven Newman, and he's going to have an opportunity heading into the bus stop chicane. He's going to go for the dummy here. Sandstrom's left himself vulnerable. He's up the inside as a course in racing driver. Is there contact between the two of them? There was a little bit, and now it's all over the place. Is Sandstrom. Newman is past, and now Styx is going to move past as well.
I think the steward's going to have a look at that after the race. I would certainly not be happy about that. It's big sand in the middle of the corner. They make contact. Very small room to really wiggle in, but that chicane is providing a big opportunity right there. But Sandstrom, first wall has fallen here for Styx, Newman, and the rest of the Core boys. Can they catch up to Barb? And then the Doctor at the lead of this race.
Yeah, and crucially, Styx got past Newman down into turn 1, so he's now the head of this train and has a very good chance at winning this race. Does Styx as we got Smith into the wall, so he's made another mistake. He was keeping up with those drivers, almost another unsafe rejoin as well. Now, how much damage does he have on that car? It looked like he was in the wall, but that car, as far as I could see, seemed all right. And that's Tom Minot. He started from the pits in race 1. He's up to the lead here in race 2.
Yeah, anything can happen here. Linemark Park, this race can fall onto its head in just a matter of moments. And hey, we're only 5 minutes into this race. This is Winkler and Sandstrom still fighting with each other.
Oh, that's exceptional there. The outside line through turn 1, really, really tricky. You've got to go such a further distance, and it's very narrow as well. But he pulled it off exceptionally well, and Smith did have to pit.
Yeah, Smith getting that damage fixed right there, what damage he had. And here is a look at that is Glamsetter going up the old track right there. It's going to have to be serving that slowdown right there. And Glamsetter, avoiding a big send right there. That's Philip Russell. Fordzilla's back in the lead of the AM Championship. What is going on with the AM's race right now?
Minot's, I think, going to be back past, but he's not dipping into the slipstream. Come on, Tom, you got to get in the tow, but maybe he doesn't want to overtake. I can only imagine that's what
It's
he's
only the
thinking.
first 5 minutes.
And
breathe.
yeah. Maybe he just wants to play it safe a little bit. Rosenkrantz now, right with these trials, with a good chance at a decent result here. Rosenkrantz starts down in 19th position, but he's up into 9th, just got past Glamsetter, who will be frustrated. There seems to maybe be a bit of squeezing from Minot, but Glamsetter running too deep, and he's trying to come back here against Rosenkrantz, but that's really not going to work out. Best to just try to follow Rosenkrantz past his two amateur rivals.
Yeah, Glamsetter is back up with them right now as we take a look at just our amateur standings. Russell, Minot, Glamsetter, your top 3. The car ahead of Glamsetter is Rosenkrantz, the pro. So if we're just going by that is Pascal Sticks, one of the core boys, making the first mistake we see by them. Going off at turn 1, falling to the back of our pro train at the top 6. And now all the core is lying on Sven Newman in 3rd place.
Well, he was out in the sticks there.
I can't believe you've done that.
He was out in the sticks because he was very far away from the circuit. That's very funny. But shame for Sticks because he had a very good chance at winning the race. He wasn't catching much up to Hussein and Barb. He was still the leader of those core drives and of course fighting for the title as well as Sticks, and that's probably his first mistake of the season. Honestly, he's been absolutely perfect. But if Binkler went and won this race now and Sticks, oh no, Andy Moore was the fire. Wow.
Moore and Smith had a collision with each other. Aaron Smith and Andy Moore. What has happened right here? This is Aaron Smith trying to hold it around to the outside. They tapped into. That's a massive crash right there. Oh, that was a big shebang.
Oh wow! Look at Reeve. He's almost off the track. But managed to keep it on. But no, that was that felt like a very real-life crash for some sort of reason. I don't know, it just seemed like the way that we cut
this is a very realistic simulator.
Yes. Right, yeah. Yeah. It's a service. Wait, what? Marco's just confused me there. It's a game.
It's true. I need to adjust my glasses. Actually, it's a simulator. Real life drivers use it. Oh my gosh. I love the points where we just start arguing with each other on what actually is happening. Oh, Jack Crew! I believe he got a little bit airborne right there. Those curbs can really send you to the moon right there. Not as high as a SpaceX rocket, but they can really get you up there. Here's Jack Crew heading into the chicane, and hello, darling.
Wow, that was like a gutter that he went over, wasn't it? And,
it was a gutter.
Got airborne.
That gutter is really oddly placed because it's on the hill. So usually you would put gutters at the bottom in the basin of the hill to prevent flooding, but
maybe to intercept the water as it falls. I'm not sure, but no, that is questionable stuff right there. It's not the most questionable thing.
I'm not a gutter expert, so you know, when iRacing rain gets here, we will find out what that gutter actually does.
Well, exactly, and if anyone is a gutterer in the YouTube chat, lets us know why that gutter would be positioned there. Don't see any others around the circuit.
Is that what it's called? Gutterer?
Should be. Should be what it's called.
Gutterer, drainologist.
Drainologist.
I really don't know where. Civil engineer, that's what it is.
I'm going to stick with Gutsuga. Oh, no. What's happening with this quad? So it's now Reeve who's had an instant. Oh, what's happening this time?
Reeve and I believe Reeve and Crew had contact. This could look very, very. This could be very similar to what we saw right here. And into the back, trying to defend. And while he tried to put his car where no car would go, and he's now finding that car in the gutter.
Marco putting a very funny comment in the YouTube chat, so well done to well done to him. By far the funniest thing I said all broadcast. I wasn't even one of us saying it. Glamsetter, Rosencrantz just cannot get away from it right now. I really thought Rosencrantz would just be onto the back of Minot, back of Russell, and past the pair of them very quick, but you can't really deal with the Norwegian, who was kind of having to brake very early for the bus stop chicane because the driver ahead was quite so slow. This is obviously an opportunity though for Glamsetter. He's close enough to at least force Rosencrantz offline. This is by far the best overtaking chance on the lap. He glances to the inside and he is going to try to get past, and he does get past, and without much resistance, honestly, from the 189 machine. So Glamsetter back up to 9th, and well, we'll see if he can put some pressure on Minot. Would love to see that battle winning.
Absolutely, and I just saw that Marco comment. This is why we don't cover bowling here on Apex Racing TV.
I think Marco's a very good bowler, honestly.
Yeah, I would bowl against Marco. I will at least be happy playing with Marco, having a good time, and not guttering. But it's just me.
I still use the ramp.
Oh.
I don't really, but I wish I could, but I get some bad looks from other people.
Yeah, my granddad was an amazing bowler. He actually, okay, no, we got in trouble last time he did this. Not doing it.
Back to the race.
Back to the race, talking about gutters and drains and bowling.
Hopefully there's a crash later on, we can reference bowling once again.
Well, we've had multiple crashes that did look like a little bit of a bowling ball right there. As this is Kevin Peters and the car behind him, and look at very twitchy down to the inside. Peters with a very wide turn, and he actually had to get onto the brakes as that was Ryan up onto the inside and up into 12th.
Glamsetter on the attack. Minot's gone defensive, but there's no stopping Glamsetter, who is very quick, and it took him very little time to catch and pass Minot there. So really good pace, and he's been able to gap Rosencrantz as well. As we've got a bit of a lock-up, but it's also Ryan trying to move past Peters. I feel like whenever we've seen Peters, he's always been overtaken by other drivers. I feel a bit bad for Kevin, but I think there's going to be another situation, defending very prolifically there. Ryan could go for a big die. This is where it all went wrong for him in race 1, but he thinks better of it. Minot's got back past Glamsetter, so Glamsetter must have made a mistake. That's allowed Minot back past, and here it was.
Glamsetter getting a little bit of a mistake right there. It's this replay of what happened, and very nice heads-up driving right there. As this is Rosencrantz behind them, locked up, and hello, two-step, trying to hold it around the outside, but he got past Glamsetter, and that was very heads-up driving.
He's
almost trying to get
Minot as well.
He has now gotten past.
No.
Oh no. And that's what you call counting the chickens before they hatch.
Well, and it was a very good move as well. Lovely
It was.
line through turn 1. Lovely to see. He got it all done and dusted, and then it was just picking up the grass, wasn't it?
Too much up the inside.
I think that's bad news for Philip Russell, honestly, because it honestly seemed like Rosencrantz was the slowest out of all those guys, and he was going to get to the front of it. As here comes Glamsetter, he's going to be able to box Minot in, but Minot's not having any of it. He's going to make it 3 wide if he possibly can. They're moving past Jack Crew at the moment, who's going to be ahead of this one at the end of the straight. Glamsetter back past, and now he needs to make sure he doesn't make any mistakes and go hunt down Philip Russell with 10 minutes to go. It's been a problematic race so far for Glamsetter. Really, he should be in the lead of the amateurs, but well, he's back up to second at least now.
Yeah, he needs to catch up to Russell, but Russell really far away. We still got 10 minutes left in this race. I can't believe that.
What great pace has been for the top 2. I mean, Newman had an awful lap on lap 15, so I don't know what happened there. But even besides that, well, that last lap. Newman took a bit of a chunk out. But, you know, Winkler 6 seconds off Hussein, and Barb really sticking strong. And Barb was much slower than those drivers earlier on in race 1. In this race 2, he's company got an advantage to do them. So, I mean, if anything, I kind of want Core Sim Racing to have a bit of a hard time. I kind of want them to catch up now. They've had it hard enough, and it looks as though it could be quite a relaxed final 10 minutes here for Navid Hussein, who I don't think has won a race this season. Remarkably, he's been extremely quick, but hasn't quite gone his way. But it's looking very strong for him here at Lime Park.
Yeah, the race is definitely looking good for the Doctor. You still have 10 minutes, so you still have to keep within the groove here. The 25-minute time format compared to what usually we see. The 15-minute does provide for a little bit of excitement at the end of the race with tires being worn. You can see the track really rubbered in right now through the west end chicane. You can see a lot of wear right there and a lot of rubber being laid down, and that's what I love about iRacing. The track evolution is beautiful.
Yeah, it's really cool. And of course, in practice, as Winkler's got past Newman, so I think that's a mistake there from Newman. I don't think he'd be choreographed at this point. They're both fighting for the title, and here it was. Are we going to see a bit of a lock-up? Yeah, and barely making the corner. Winkler having to pick which side, and I think if they weren't teammates there, Newman would have covered the inside line a bit harder, as Glamsetter is almost past Russell, but Russell holds on, so he's caught up very quickly there as Glamsetter. Russell has been making mistakes through that triple chicane so far tonight, but yeah, he's lost a bunch of time, but Glamsetter is really on a charge. I honestly struggled to remember him being quite this competitive in the past. I mean, those are a couple of real bad laps from Russell to 56.3. Really is a lot slower than what he's been doing on the most part. But yeah, big times gained for his rival, as Boberg has got past Minot. So Minot kind of falling back a bit now. I think he may have just made a couple of bad laps. And yeah, after moving up to 7th position at one point, back down to 10th. And also, big thanks to Virtual Racing School for sponsoring this series. We've spoken about SDK Gaming, we've spoken about Apex Racing Academy, and also Apex Racing League for that matter as well. But Virtual Racing School are great as well. They have over 50 data packs, so that's data packs for 50 different cars in iRacing on both road and oval sides of the sim or service. And those data packs include setups, track guides, data analysis software, and one-on-one coaching. Data analysis software in particular, really useful to identify exactly where on a track you are losing some time. So huge thanks to Virtual Racing School for supporting this this series.
Oh, Newman's had an incident. No. Sven Newman spinning around the west end chicane, goes off right there and falls away from everyone else. That is not good to see. Let's take a replay of what's happened right here to Sven. I believe he's been cutting that corner like everyone else has. Yeah, he cut around that corner, upsets the car just a tad bit. Round you go. And that is not what you want to see. And we also got another incident. Tom Minot having an issue as well. Little switch back from Bob Berg down. Oh, that's a Suez Canal moment right there. A lot of damage happened.
I mean, I think I will just point out the reason why I said that, I think, was because it was Shipley. So that, I mean, the joke made... So I can't believe... Notice that...
Oh, no!
No. So if Boberg caused that first incident, or was he the victim of both of them? He may have been the victim of them. Rosencrantz making contact.
I think Rosencrantz is just done. Oh my god!
No, come on, guys.
We got 5 minutes. Come on.
I'm not on Ryan now.
All the contact and chaos in the world happening within the lap, but I can't believe that. And also, sorry if I was silent for a little bit. I had to mute myself. A lot of shouting was just had in the background. But I'm back. Navani Hussein leading by 2 seconds, and then it's miles back to the rest of the field behind him. As well, this is probably the most spread out we've seen our lead.
Yeah. Newman, dropping down to 6th position because of that. But Russell and Glamsetter getting back close together. So Russell, he's got a back marker here, but he's passed nice and quick. That is Joe, who I think they're double lapping. Then it's put Glamsetter offline slightly, so he's not going to be able to get past on this time round. 4 minutes to go, about 4 laps to go. It was Clothier who was trying to get out of the way, and Russell is safe again. He's top 2 in the Amateur Championship, I believe, at the moment. I think certainly the 2 favourites, along with Aaron Smith as well, for that matter. But Smith having a poor night tonight, and of course not taking part at Nürburgring has certainly puts him with some catching up to do. So these 2 will be the lead of the championship, certainly for the first few rounds. Glamsetter's got the pace, super evenly matched usually are these 2. As Minot unfortunately got back out on track, so he's got that damage fixed, and we'll see him finish the race.
Yeah, you definitely want to see driver finish the race after. Well, he's been driving so good, but ending of this race becoming a bit of a chaos fest right now. As we ride on board of Russell, as Glamsetter is starting to close in on him, and the fight for the lead of the AMs is really going to be very interesting to see right now as we ride on board of Christian Glamsetter. 135 across the line, miles per hour up the San Posey Straight, and then storming it into that long turn 1. And the one thing I love about Lime Rock Park is some of the curves here on some of the turns are just flat. So you get to push that curve just a little bit more. And then on the next apex, it's just not flat at all. So it's like the track wants you to push some corners and wants you to not. And that's what I love about this place, because it's just like, it teaches you how to drive a car in the natural flow of the circuit. And if you've ever driven a car around here, you just leave a smile on your face. And I love this place so much. Personal memories, me getting my pro license, like my license to go race cars against other people at this track.
Yeah, it's a really cool circuit. Can I ask, was that on the GP layouts or?
It was.
Yeah.
It was on the GP. They didn't use the classic layout back then. It was at the skip bar too, so it was a lot of fun. We didn't have this chicane though, thankfully. I asked about it, and they said you don't want to do it.
No, you do not. It's a very fun circuit. This, it's great that all iRacing users get it for free. But like we were just on this part of the circuit a moment ago, but we're already back around it. It's only a 55-second lap time, and Glamsetter, this is his best chance he's had for a few laps. He kind of made a mistake and dropped off the back of Russell, but this is a bit better, but he's still half a second behind. You want to be within 3.5 tenths to have a good chance at an overtake up this front stretch. So he needs to get a couple of tenths closer than he was on that lap. He's got 2 more attempts to do it.
And Glamsetter went drifting off the track right there, carrying too much momentum, and he's off in the wall at turn 1. And he went so far off at the camera.
Sorry, so Winkler's Barb's made a mistake. In fact, I think Hussein has been a bit slow as well, because all the gap seems to have reduced, but Winkler is up into 2nd position. So
okay, so
yeah, Hussein's just had a rubbish lap, but
let's rewind. First, this is what added to the AM lead at Glamsetter. Too much muster heading into turn 1, and that was insane. And then we switched over to what happened to our leaders of Louis Barb and Carl Winkler, both of them having an issue. Oh, there's the issue. Big lockup for Barb. And there goes Carl Winkler now taking the 2nd place in our fight for the pros. Everything's popping off right here. We're at the final minute of the race. This white flag is in the air right now. And, well, the white flag is waving. The checker flag is waving right now. The doctor will see you now. Dr. Navani Hussein takes the win here at Lime Rock Park, followed by Winkler and Barb to complete the podium What a race this has been. Philip Russell. Oh man, he escaped a big time bullet right there. Glamsetter came in with a missile of an attempt, lost the back end. Philip Russell is going to take the AM victory for Fordzilla here at Lime Rock 2. What an amazing ending to this race. I don't know why, but always the final 5 minutes around here, it just seems like everybody, the world's going to end apparently.
Yeah, that was very entertaining. And well, congratulations to Hussein. He kept his head on. He was very slow on those final few laps, but absolutely just cruising around. And Winkler crucially getting those extra points with sticks down, only in 5th position. Winkler taking a decent chunk out of that championship lead tonight. So it's going to be tight for the overall title, but for Philip Russell with that amateur race win, he extends his lead, and well, he's getting a really good championship. Wasn't his best evening by any means. I don't think he was very competent tonight. Was Russell, but he still managed to beat his main rivals.
Yeah, he was able to stay in front of his rivals, but Russell, ooh, man, he's going to be very happy about that second race. Navidi Hussein going to be extremely happy about that race. Winkler, very solid day by him. Pascal Sticks and Sven Newman, both of them not having the best, but Carl Winkler, first and a second, he'll take that any day of the week. As our race 2 results is Hussein taking the victory, followed by Winkler, Loic Barb, Jesper Sandstrom, Pascal Sticks, Sven Newman, Philip Russell, Christian Glamsetter, Will Ryan, Kevin Peters, Chris Rosenkrantz, Hans Verage, Tom Minot, Jack Reeve, Paul Clothier, Sean Shipley, Rickard Bodberg, and Jack Crew, followed by Aaron Smith and Andy Moore. In the end of our grid, as Marco very quickly deleted that attempt to say, come join us here if you're on the iRacing, if you're on the Apex Racing TV channel. Come join us in the commentary booth. We would love to hear from you after the race, which is right now.
It is, yeah. So, yep, come join us and all of that. Just looking at the next round of the championship, Barcelona. It's the GP layout as well, I believe, whatever the official series is running. So, as I think we are going to have a chat. So I am going to bring up Philip Russell. And after the absolute nightmare that was last week, I can only pray to the gods that Philip has got his mic sorted out and that he can hear us and that he can communicate with us. Philip, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Wonderful stuff. We can hear you loud and clear. So glad we're not going to go through that mess all again. Congratulations, really good night tonight. You managed to finish 2nd place in the amateur category in race 1, 1st place in race 2. First up, how did you find this circuit? I mean, it seemed to be a wide range of cars, or wide range of kind of confidence levels around this track. Some drivers really enjoying it, some drivers having an absolute mare. How were you finding this this circuit?
It's surprisingly quite difficult for such a simple track, to be fair. I did some practice this morning and really struggled, but I came back into practice before the race today and found consistency for a lap and finding the right lines and then braking points and stuff like that. Got a lot better during the race from that point, but I can see that for a track with so little corners and not much to it, it was quite a tricky track.
How was race 1 for you? Because you managed to do really well in qualifying. I think you were pole position out of the amateurs in qualifying, but before you know it, you seem to have Aaron Smith storm past you. I mean, do you think he just ignited those tyres maybe a bit quicker?
Yeah, I really struggled in race 1. I mean, to be honest with you, I know Aaron's he's definitely a threat in this championship. I know he missed last race at Nürburgring, but he's definitely a contender. So I've got to take into consideration his pace. But yeah, I wasn't going to fight him too much because of the position he is in the championship currently. But he was too quick for me tonight anyway. So I wouldn't have been able to keep up with him. He was gone. So My main aim was to keep Christian Glamsetter behind me, as he's my closest rival in the championship. But that failed, I believe. I can't remember what happened in race 1, to be fair. But towards the end, I know I slipped back a bit. I struggled with the brakes. But yeah, it was, two podiums in class. I can take that for sure. And I win.
I mean, how was it from your perspective in race 2? Because it seemed like everything was going on around you. Christian seemed to be gaining places, then he'd lose some, then he'd go off the circuit, then he'd catch back up to you, then he'd drop away. You seem to be very consistent though in comparison. Yeah,
well, again, it was a very up and down race again for me. I struggled with the brakes at the same point as race 1 as well, so I started struggling towards the end of the race with the brakes. So he kept catching up with me. But yeah, at the beginning, I know him and Tom. Tom did a fantastic job. Tom Miner, he kept I think it was Christian Glamsetter and Rosenkrantz, I think it was, behind him for quite a while, and it gave me that 2-second gap which I needed to maintain the space. But yeah, if it wasn't for that, I think Christian was giving me a bit more of a hard time. He was giving me a hard time anyway, because I kept making mistakes with the brakes and stuff. But I think it would have been a lot harder if Tom didn't keep him behind for as long as he did. So.
Next round of the championship is Barcelona. What's your thoughts on that car track combination? It seems almost like a bit of a big circuit for these cars. I think it's gonna be what were your thoughts on it?
I'm not a fan of the track myself, and I haven't done too many races there. I think I've only literally done a handful of races on iRacing at Barcelona, just because I'm not a huge fan. But car track, I think it would be fine. There's plenty of space, so there shouldn't be too many incidents. It's quite long straight, obviously, on the start finish line. But yeah, I think it'd be quite a fun track. I really don't know how I'm gonna be there, but I think if Aaron and Christian are gonna be there, I think it's gonna be close battle again. So.
And earlier on wasn't a great qualifying for your brother, George. He of course made that mistake at the final corner. You've been able to have a chat with him. What do you have to start tomorrow?
I know. I texted him and told him to sort his stuff out, because I think that was pretty poor not to get into Q3 this week. But he's been doing so well. But hey, well. Was it P13, P14? I'm not too sure where he starts, but yeah, I should know because he's my brother, of course. But
That's Shumi.
Oh yeah. Really? What did Shumi get that high up? Gosh. So yeah.
He did.
Yeah, George was around that range. So yeah, best of luck, Philip. I mean, if he does have a bad one, hopefully he doesn't, take it all out on you.
Of course, yeah. No, I give him some tips every now and then, but yeah.
Exactly. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Again, well done to all the guys today, and obviously the winners and podium finishers. And obviously you guys, fantastic again, as always, doing a great job with the commentary, running the championship. And again, as always, thank my team Fordzilla, for the continued support with my sim racing, forever growing with the team. So yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Thanks for having a chat with us, Philip, and see you back next week.
Catch you later. Have a good week. Cheers.
Philip Russell there, finishing in 9th position in race 1, 7th position in race 2, but that was 1st and 2nd, 2nd and 1st respectively in race 1, and race 2 in the amateur category. And of course, brother to George Russell, and Russell did quite bad in the end, didn't he? He was quite far down. He was 13th. What are you chatting, Austin? He was 13th.
He said 14th, which I jumped on Shumi. He said 13th and 14th. Anyway, he's still better than Latifi. Anyway, our next interview, we will see the doctor now, Dr. Navidi Hussein, with that beautiful race number 2 lights to flag victory here at Lime Rock. How is this race, and how are you adjusting to the track throughout the race?
The race was great. It was I kind of got my Achilles heel out of the way, which is the start. So I got a good start, and then I just kind of kept my head down try to keep doing consistent lap times. I was like really slowly pulling away from like maybe like a tenth a lap, and yeah, just kind of happily managing my tyres. I had a little bit of, I probably had pretty good tyres towards the end of the race, but I was just kind of taking it easy, Austin. So yeah, it was good. It was a good race too. I was happy with it.
Yeah, very happy with that as well. Beautiful. Really, no one was able to challenge you. We saw you working on your starts before the race. Have you been putting more focus to getting your off the line speed and trying to get some spots immediately off the line?
Yeah, or even just maintain spots. I mean, I don't think I've gained a place in any of the fifth race now. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I haven't gained a place in any race. In actual fact, I've gone backwards in the vast majority of them, so I just want to work on the starts. I've started using the clutch now for the launch, and it's inconsistent, but it's definitely quicker when you get it right.
It definitely seems that way, and it really does look like with that reverse pull that you got with that 6th place, you were able to hold on to where you needed to be and then just pull away from everybody else. We're moving to Barcelona next week. How are you prepared for that track? It's definitely a lot bigger than this one.
It's got to be like in my top 2 or 3 tracks that I race, and I love Barcelona. So hopefully I'll do a good bit of practice during the week and concentrate on qualifying, concentrate on the start, and hopefully get more of the same. Fingers crossed.
All right. Well, we expect to see some good things from you next week. Before we let you go, anyone you want to thank?
Ignium Motorsports. Big thank you to those guys, our team Ignium. Paul King, great team boss. Big thanks to my family watching at home. And you guys, everybody setting up the league, commentators. Thanks very much.
Thank you for putting on an amazing show out there on track. That was the Doctor. Over to Sam for any final words. And Sam doesn't have any final words as we are, well, he's already so excited for Barcelona that he's left the booth. So thank you everybody for joining us here for the Apex Racing Academy Formula Renault 2.0 Championship here at Lime Rock Park. I've been joined by Sam Fitzpatrick with Marco Bobadera in the production booth, and I'm Austin Knight, and I hope y'all have a good night.